Sea of Thieves, released in 2018 for Xbox consoles, and released for PCs in 2020. Sea of Thieves is a multiplayer adventure game with the focus on exploring dungeons and looting treasures. You can approach the world however you choose, whether that means fighting other players, exploring the map, and since this game heavily focuses on the sea, you can fish. Fishing is unlocked almost immediately after opening the game. Just select what mode you want to play and what ship you want, and once you spawn in, click K on keyboard or LB on an Xbox controller to immediately pull out the fishing rod. Fish can be found essentially anywhere that there is water. Just cast your rod in and you should find at least something. There are 10 different species of fish that can be caught. Splashtails, pondies, islehoppers, ancient scales, plentifins, wild splashers, devilfish, battlegill, wreckers, and stormfish. Each species of fish have 5 different variants that you can catch, meaning that there are a total of 50 variants of fish. Some fish can only appear in specific areas, like how pondies can be found in freshwater ponds or how stormfish can only be found during storms. Another thing that some fish need to be caught is bait. There are 3 types of bait: grubs, which can be found on sand, leeches, which can be found on shorelines, and earthworms, which can be found in grass or dirt. In order to first find the bait, click 6 on your keyboard and you should pull out a shovel. When you do, go to the place where the bait you want is and left click. If you do, your character will dig into the dirt and there will be a good chance that you'll find some sort of bait, although it's not guaranteed to find anything. In order to attach the bait to the rod, hold the rod out and hold Q. If you do, an item dial will appear on your screen. If you have bait in your inventory, press R and you should be able to hook the bait. Once you cast your rod out and catch a fish, there are a few things you can do with it. If you are low on health, you can cook it and eat it, which will restore a lot of health, or you can just eat it raw to restore a little. And you can also sell the fish for varying prices at the sea spots. Basically 8 different shops around the map will allow you to sell a fish. And you can get a decent amount of money for it. It's nothing insane though. The price that you sell a fish at is determined by what type of fish you caught and whether or not it's cooked. Perfectly cooked fish will sell for much more than not cooked or burnt fish. Each fish has a rarer variant, the trophy fish. Trophy fish are harder to capture than regular fish by resisting longer and giving you less time to reel in. But in return they are worth a lot more, and if you deliver enough, you get a badge. As for the minigame itself, cast your rod into the water and wait for a fish. Eventually a fish will appear on screen and slowly swim around your lure, and eventually it will latch on. Once it does, it will start to quickly swim in a direction. Your goal here is to pull against the fish, but at the start, don't try to reel the rod in by holding left click yet. Keep moving the rod to the opposite side of the fish, and eventually it will stop swimming. You can easily tell by the waves splashing to the side of it. If there are waves, then don't try to reel in, but if there aren't, then hold left click until it starts swimming again, or until it gets fully reeled in. Each fish will be different in terms of timing. Some may take longer to weaken and have less time to pull in, whereas it could be the opposite for others. Most fish take a very long time to fully reel in, as it takes at least 3 cycles of pulling away from the fish, waiting for the tire to try to pull it back in, and that cycle will just repeat for a little while. But once you finally pull it in, the fish will be hanging on the hook, allowing you to easily pull it up. If you fail the minigame by reeling in too early or not pulling the rod in the opposite direction, the rod will snap and you will lose any bait that you had attached. After a little practice, it's fairly easy, so you shouldn't worry about it too much. Overall, fishing in Sea of Thieves is very fun, although it takes a while to capture each fish. Most fishing minigames involve doing something that you couldn't really do in real life, like hit the A button. How am I supposed to do that? But in Sea of Thieves, the way to catch fish is more similar to how you would do it in a real lake or ocean, at least compared to other video games. Basically just wait and try to pull it in. What I'm trying to say is that Sea of Thieves is the most realistic fishing minigame I've at least experienced, if that makes sense. I hope it does. And one that I would definitely recommend, as it is fun to do. But thanks for watching.